Well, all right. It is Wednesday, May 22, and I wrapped up today. I actually wrapped up at about 10:45 Pacific Standard Time, so just a little under an hour ago. And today was an interesting day. I was 1-0. I took one trade. It was with the orb. Now 20-3 with the orb, 87%. And took the trade adhering to the new or revised, however you want to put it, Apex rules, the new strictly enforced rules that they've put in place. And I traded on two evaluations today, so I know that I can trade however I want on evaluations. These new stricter rules or revised rules or more clear rules don't actually affect how you can trade the evaluations. The evaluations, it's simply hit the profit target before you hit the trailing drawdown, and that's what it is. Especially during the 1 day pass, you can do it in a single day, and so I really could trade the orb the way I had been trading it previously, the way Alpine was trading it. But what I decided to do is I'm using my evaluations to practice trading the orb according to the defined rules set by Apex. I'm making a directional play. I'm not using OCO. I'm not placing orders on top and bottom. I'm choosing a direction and placing my order in that direction. And I'm using a stop, making sure my stop isn't more than 3 or 4 to 1, just like they are requesting we do. And I'm not placing limit orders on both sides like I already said. So everything is by the rules, and I'm practicing it to make sure I can accomplish taking the trade without the OCO aspect of it, and seeing how I do on the evaluations. And then if I can do well this way as well, then I'll trade them on the PA accounts when I eventually have some again. And according to the rules, it shouldn't be a problem. Obviously, I record all my trades because I am on YouTube, so all my trades are recorded anyways. And if they have an issue with any of my trading, I will send them a video and say, here are the trades. I'm not breaking your rules. I would expect a payout. So we can get into that a little bit more in a second. I also picked up a 250K Eval account. I wasn't planning on doing that, but honestly, it is such a good deal. They're basically right now offering the 90% discount. You can use this code or any other. Someone mentioned in my chat today in live stream that they were using my code today, and I really appreciate that. Anyone that uses it, thank you. I appreciate it. It definitely helps me. I'm not a profitable trader, and not a lot of people are using my code. So, anytime someone uses it, I do really appreciate that. Let me see here. So the 90% is going on until tomorrow, tomorrow being Thursday, the 23rd. And I'm not sure if it stops working at market close or if it stops working at midnight tomorrow. But there's a link in my description down below, and you can click on the link and find all the information you need if you're interested in picking up any accounts. And then at the same time, it's 1 day pass is still going on, as well as this 250K promo, where they're basically offering a 250K eval account at the same price as a 50K at the 90% off. And if you go into an additional month, it renews at the 80% off the 50K price. So it's $16.70 right now under the current promo. And then if it renews a second month or more months, it's $33.40 per month. And then if you can pass the account before May 31st or by May 31st, I believe, then the other part of the promo is they're offering a lifetime fee of only $85 for that account. You pay a one-time lifetime $85, and you have that account for as long as you can keep it. So that's a really good deal. So I figured, you know what, I'm buying a bunch of accounts anyways. It's the same price as a 50K. Obviously, it's much, much, much harder to pass. You have to make $15,000 to pass it. And if you want to pass it in time to qualify for the $85 lifetime fee, you obviously have only this week and next week. and there's a holiday coming up as well on Monday. So I believe we're also missing a day. Is that next week for the holiday? Let me see here. Yeah, Monday the 27th is a holiday, so that's one less day to trade as well. So obviously, to make $15,000 in limited time, very, very difficult for me. Maybe not as difficult for you. Who knows? But $15,000 in a short amount of time to get that promo lifetime fee. So I'm gonna go for it. If I can't do it, I'll still try to pass it, and I'll pay $85 for the monthly fee, and I'll attack it that way. But in the meantime, otherwise, I'm going to concentrate on the 50Ks. And as you can see, I do have one 50K that is very close to passing, just 300 and change away. So hopefully I can get it passed tomorrow if nothing goes wrong. You can see I've traded it for 5 days. That's my new focus, is to pass these evaluations much, much faster than I've been doing in the past. My whole YouTube, and especially this year, 2024, I've been trying to prove my system and keep track of my stats, and prove that I can pass evaluations using my system. And because I figured if I can pass evaluations using my system, then I should be able to get payouts using my system. Well, so far half of that is true and half of it isn't true. I've still not received any payouts. I've not qualified for any payouts to date. And yesterday you saw me lose my last of my current PA accounts. So I've now gone through 10 PA accounts without a payout, which if you told me when I started Apex that I would have 10 PA accounts and not get a single payout, I would have fought you and said, no way, like that's just not going to happen. But here I am. So we'll see how it goes. My whole game plan is I'm going to trade every trade on the 250K, and then I'm going to copy trade to 150K, and I'm just going to try to work through the accounts. Today was just a really choppy back and forth day, pretty tight ranges, and didn't really see many opportunities. The only trade I took today was the orb, and that was a pretty straightforward, easy trade for me. I picked the right direction, and it worked pretty quickly. So I traded what I do, 4 contracts on Eval 41, made $414 on that trade, and then on Eval 43, trading 6 contracts on that one, which is the larger account. And that's kind of my game plan: 6 contracts on 43 and 4 contracts on the other accounts. So let's see how I can do with that. And then the other last thing to mention, when I get closer on my chart here, you'll see I put the Bollinger Bands on. They're kind of these gold lines. And for anyone that hasn't used Bollinger Bands before, I haven't either. I've never used Bollinger Bands before. And I've not really done a whole lot of research on them. I haven't gone to any other YouTubes and try to see how people are using them to trade with or not, whatnot. All I'm doing is I put them on my chart, and I decide to observe the Bollinger Bands and see how price action works with it. My thought process is I'd like to see if it helps me get in the good trades according to my already current setups, and avoid the bad trades. So if it doesn't make sense in the Bollinger Band to take a trade, maybe I can skip a trade. And I just want to see it. It's kind of like, see if I could use it as a guide. I also have some ideas about how I might be able to actually find setups and trade using the Bollinger just on its own without my regular setups. So I'm just trying to be as dynamic of a trader as I can, trying to add more tools to my my tool belt to figure out how to just be able to trade in as many different conditions as I can. Today was another day. For anyone that's been following me, you know that I usually trade on tick charts. I refer to my system as a BS system, and charts like this. I'm usually trading on charts like this, tick charts, and what I usually do is look for charts where every second entry is working for my profit target, and I'll trade on those charts. Well, the last few days, even couple weeks, the charts are coming few and far between. Today I was only able to find one chart, and it was this one, and it pretty quickly fell apart right when the market opened for regular session. So just hasn't really been an option to trade on the tick charts lately. Even when I do find one or two, they don't hold up very long. And so for whatever reason, the market conditions right now, just I'm finding not a great time to be trading that system for me personally. So I'm just trying to add things that I can do so that, the way it used to be is if I didn't have any charts, I would just pack it up and not trade that day. Or if I, only had a chart for a certain amount of time. But now I feel pretty confident with my chart reading, my price action reading. And so I just want to keep it moving because it's all about time, right? Like here we are, we're already basically halfway through 2024. Haven't gotten a payout yet, not where I want to be. And so I'm just trying to push the gas a little bit harder in every way possible. So going to have the Bollinger Bands on the chart for a little bit here, and I'm going to see if I can take advantage of them. If they can help me at all, then I'll employ them and use them. And if I find that it's not really helpful for me, then I'll just take it off. But I'm going to just continue to modify and try things and see what works for me. So as you can see, I did pick up 4 new 50K evaluations plus the 250K evaluation with the 90% codes or discount promo. And then I had that one evaluation left that I'm now $300 away from passing. So my whole game plan is to see how today goes, see how tomorrow goes, and then most likely pick up some more evaluations. But with the price action being the way it is, if I'm only getting one trade a day, I'm not going to be able to get through all these accounts. So I kind of have to decide, but I also know that the 90% isn't coming again sometime soon, and they renew for 80%, which is typically the best price. So I think I'll at least probably get another 5 is what I'm thinking. Get another 5, and then that way, if I'm running out of time in the first month, I could YOLO them by the end in time for them to renew, and then go from there. So we'll see what happens. I know yesterday I was sounding a little bit down and a little defeated, talking about like if I shouldn't be doing this anymore. Really I was just venting, and but I think it's all good. I'm in a good place. Days like yesterday are going to happen. I know that. And really my first trade yesterday was a good trade, and I'm trying to use profit targets now instead of just using my auto stop strategy. And my target was just a couple ticks too wide, a couple ticks tighter, and it would have been a winning trade. And I probably wouldn't have taken any of the 3 trades that followed it. And that's just the reality. And I was kind of just in that mindset after I took that first loss of like, okay, well, if I blow that one evaluation and the PA was on its deathbed anyway. And I always had this other evaluation as a backup that was close to passing. And I knew that I was getting more anyways with the 90% off. So it was just a state of mind. Having said all that, let me show you my trade here and just talk about a couple other things and get this wrapped up. All right, so here we go. This is the 1 minute chart. That's all I traded off of today, like I mentioned earlier. And, basically the way I saw it is we had 2 legs down. If I measure this, when I started my day, I kind of looked at it and said, okay, we have 2 legs down plus a third leg. And then we made a really strong leg up, as you can see here. And so if I zoom in here, so you can see when I started my day, I measured this. I measured this first leg up. I said that looked like one leg up. And this was before I started. This is about 5:15 Pacific in the morning. And so I said, okay, if this is the bottom, and starting the second leg up, where will that get us? And so that gave me a target to the high side. And so because I had a target to the high side, when I started my day, let's see here. This is what the market looked like when I started my day. And I knew that I had this second leg higher that I was expecting. And so my whole thought process was, okay, I'm not going to OCO and play both sides of the range. I wanted to be in for the long. That was my bias. So, if I'm going to trade the orb, this New York Open trade on my PA accounts, I'm not one to try to cheat. I'm not trying to cheat. Apex put out their videos about the rules and tightening their guidelines and saying that it's not new rules and all these things. I don't want to harp on this too much, but there's the guy that does those videos, he really points his finger at us, the users, like all of us, and kind of is implying that a lot of us are trying to cheat and scam and scheme and, to get payouts. And I'm not trying to be a cheater. I'm not trying to break the rules. If I see someone out there is on YouTube and they're trading a certain way and they're getting approved for payouts, then clearly it appears that no one's breaking the rules, right? So they allowed for that to happen, and they allowed for traders to trade a certain way and approve and pay out hundreds of thousands of dollars to these individual traders. And so I'm not a scammer, a schemer, or a cheater for trying to trade like them, emulate them, if what they're doing is working and the company is approving payouts. So really, it's an Apex problem, not a user problem. Now, I know there might be some users out there that are cheating, are trying to scheme, are trying to scam, because no matter where you are in life, in business, no matter where in society, no matter what category, there's always going to be someone out there trying to cheat, trying to make an easy buck, trying to scheme the system, and trying to get out ahead, no matter what you're doing in life, right? But it doesn't mean that everyone is. So the way they put out their video and the way this guy on Apex is very, patronizing and condescending in the video about how us, the users, are trading, I'm just going to say it. I'm not trying to cheat. I'm not trying to scheme. I'm not trying to scam. I'm just trying to take the rules that they give us, and accordingly, based on what they approve and don't approve, I'm trying to trade appropriately. So I like this trade. I like the orb. I like the New York Open. I like the trade. I like the reason for the trade, and it is not a scheme or scam or cheat to do this trade. Even if you did the OCO, it's not. It's a legitimate trade. But they've made it part of the rules that you can't OCO. You can't have a buy order on top and a sell order on bottom. Okay, so I understand that, and I'm not going to do that. And meanwhile, having said all that, you can still do that on the evaluations, right? But I'm not even doing it on the evaluations because I am trying to practice so that I can trade it according to my strategy, directional, like they say you can, on my PA accounts. So here, we can see there is a range leading into the open, right? So I wanted to play it long, and basically I just wanted to enter somewhere above the range, far enough out that I figured if it triggered, that it was a breakout and I can ride the momentum to my scalp. And according to my understanding of the rules as they've been written and as they've been reviewed in the videos, this is a proper trade. And there should be no reason to get denied a payout. And the other thing is, if they were to ask me for videos to show my trades, well, obviously I record all my trades, right? I'm doing it for YouTube. So I've got no problem handing over my videos. If they say, oh, we want your videos for the next 3 days, I'll say you can have the next 3 days, and you can also have the videos for every single trade I've taken that I turned in, that I requested a payout for. Because I'm not trying to cheat or scam or do something outside the rules. I'm playing by their rules, and I read their rules, and this is according to the rules. So as you can see here, this is the first bar that triggered me into the trade. You can see I have my Bollinger Band on now. Now, there's two things about the Bollinger Band. If it closes outside of the Bollinger Band, a lot of times it's going to come back in. But what I've noticed in my observations is if it closes and is hugging the top Bollinger Band in this case, and the next bar does it, and the next bar does it, and the next bar does it, you can pretty much ride that momentum until a bar detaches from that top Bollinger Band, and then that's where likely the pullback will be. So that's just my observation so far. I'm observing and testing it, and anyway, I liked my entry here. I felt like I was far enough above. I know it looks like I got top ticked, and then with the next bar, it especially looked like I got top ticked because it looked like if this bar triggered, it looked like it was going to be a failed breakout, maybe come all the way back down. So I didn't love how this bar formed. It came up just shy of giving me my profit target. But the big thing too was I was expecting a retest of this high because I had the measured move up, and this was a strong trend up. And so I'd expect to retest that. And so what I wouldn't expect is to get this close and then not actually be able to do it. So luckily, fortunately, the next bar did tick below, and then it went back up, and I got my profit target well before the retest of the high, which is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be out before the retest. And you can see we got the retest there, and then there was a sell-off. So that went exactly according to my plan. That is my strategy, and there should be no reason I can't trade that way on the PA. As far as I understand, all the rules as they've been laid out by Apex, in their newly defined, clearly written, supposedly rules, even though there's a bunch of errors and misspellings and things about the rules. So having said all of that, that was a good trade. I like that trade. I took it, like I said, with 4 contracts on the evaluation 41 that's getting close to passing, as well as evaluation 43. I took with 6 contracts. So let me see here. The rest of the day was really just kind of tough to read. Kind of just do this. So the rest of the day, I was looking for entries, but we had all these different levels really close together. We had this support level, we had the previous day close, we had the previous day high, we had the open. These levels were all really close, and this thing, after the open was just really back and forth, really choppy, really hard to find anything that kind of fit my trading rules. And then we went to some of these tighter ranges, right? And then you would have a move in a tight range and a move in a tight range, and just a lot of kind of difficulty there. So at one point I had my range like this. At one point I had my range like this. Then I had it down here. And then even towards the end of the day, I was like thinking to myself, well, maybe it's even just all the way down here. And you can see we've gone beyond that now. Wow, what a sell-off, right? So I finished right around here, 10:45. I think it was as this sell-off was happening. This was before the news even, by the way. And so really just nothing for me today. Just didn't like the price action, wasn't feeling it. Had a couple ideas and spots that I could have traded. There was one in particular where we basically had this like breakout of what appeared to be the range at that point. Looked like this was being the range for the regular session. It looked like we had a breakout and we popped back in. And so usually if you have a breakout to one side or the other, you might expect to work back up towards the high. I measured one leg and was expecting a second leg up, and I did have a first entry short, second entry short. Let's see here. This was probably the one I was maybe the most interested in all day. And, that very much looked like one leg up to me. And so we had a first entry short, second entry short, and a failure above the EMA, which my EMA is now this pink line, off the midline of the Bollinger. We just came off the high of the Bollinger though, and I didn't like that there was kind of a potential resistance level here. I didn't like that when the second entry did fail, the close was below the previous day's high, which is this yellow line here. I got to change the colors because these are kind of like the same colors. But when this closed like this, and then especially when this closed like this, I did like the trade, but I just didn't take advantage and I stayed out of it. And that one obviously went on to work really well. So that was the only one I really kind of wish I maybe considered a little bit stronger, or maybe switched up my accounts and just did it on one of these other accounts I haven't traded yet. But in any case, it's all good. I'm happy with my trading today. And, after yesterday, I wanted to like have some discipline today and, make sure that I liked my trades. And the big thing for me today was if I take a trade and it didn't work out, to not then go on and take the kinds of trades I was taking like I did yesterday after the first trade. And, today I just stuck to my discipline and what works for me. And, just the one trade is good. I'm going to hope to pass evaluation 41 tomorrow. I'll be looking to take the open the same way. And let's see. So I am starting my live streams earlier now, 9:25 Eastern, and I'm pretty much ending typically around 1:30 Eastern these days. So that's kind of be my normal hours, I'm thinking. And there's no reason to not show my open trade. So this morning was the first time I did my live stream with the open trade, and you can see that I'm trying to play by the rules. And even on the evaluation, I'm trying to play by the rules so that if I can do it on the evaluation by the rules, then I know I could do it on the PA by the rules, and then there should be no issues as far as payouts. So we'll have to see what goes on with Apex. I think they just really, in my opinion, failed their public relations, the PR, on the PR side, in terms of how they put the information out about their tightening of the rules. I talked about it in my live stream. I'll just mention it quickly here. I really think they could have easily avoided all of the fear and all of the kind of havoc that they created if they had just initially put out a video and a message saying, hey, we have some issues that we're noticing in the background. There's definitely some people that are trying to cheat the system, and it's really maybe not even 1% of the traders, but we need to do something about it because people are trying to game the system too much. And so we are going to revise our rules. We're going to clarify. We're going to tighten them up. We're going to reinforce them. We're putting a new department in place to enforce the rules better. And this isn't going to affect the majority of the traders. This will just really affect a very small number that we're trying to target and weed out of the system those that are really trying to just cheat the system and just have payout schemes and aren't real traders and aren't really objectively trying to trade and make money. They're just more in it to scheme the company and the rules and the enforcement of the rules. I think if they put it out in that way and just put out like a statement like that saying, so look out for this, it's coming, we're going to have it out in the next week or so, we're going to have you sign the new agreements or check them that you're agreeing to it. But we wanted you to be aware of it. And so when it comes out, don't freak out. Don't worry. Our culture is staying the same. The way we do things at Apex is going to stay the same. This is really just about a very select few of the overall traders that we have. And we just have to do this to protect the company and what we've got going on here. But the vast majority of you, we know, are trading accordingly. And we appreciate that. And we appreciate having you as customers. If they put out something like that, I think it would have been fine. The rules would have came out. People would have had questions, but it wouldn't have been this reaction that was had. But instead, they didn't do that. And then they've got this guy on their video who is very aggressive in blaming the schemers and the scammers and making it sound like, all of us are these schemers and scammers trying to get one over on Apex. And I don't think the majority of us are. I think it's a very small number of people that might be doing that. And I think the majority of us are just trying to figure out how to trade and be profitable and make some money. And we're not trying to break rules. If you have rules and you enforce them, then we're trying to play by them, right? So, just the tone of the messages in the videos isn't helpful. And obviously they're targeting very specific YouTubers out there. It's so obvious. And then there might be people that we don't know about in the background that are really trying to get one over on Apex, and they're taking things from maybe those YouTube influencers and applying them and then trying to, who knows what's going on? People could be trading each other's accounts and charging people to trade for them, or who knows what. There's bots out there. They might be just trying to clean it all up, and they have the right to, and I think they should. So as long as it doesn't affect like the fact that if you play by the rules, you trade by the rules, you deserve a payout, as long as they pay out, then that's all I care about. For anyone that is like, I won't do that, I'm not going to give them a video, I would just question, if you're not willing to do a video of your trades to show that you don't break the rules, then are you hiding something, or, what's up? I know it's a distraction, and, maybe it's annoying, right? It's annoying to have to do that and jump through those hoops. But if you're not doing anything wrong, then for me, I feel like if I'm not doing anything wrong, I'll give you all the evidence you need to show that I'm not doing anything wrong, because I deserve my payout. I'm not going to be like, oh, forget it, give me my money back and I'll be done with you. I'll be like, no, I actually followed the rules and I have proof, and here you go. And now I would like my payout, please. So anyone that's not willing to like jump through that extra hoop, I do question whether some of them, are they deliberately trying to break the rules or not? Yeah, I know it's annoying and it's a hindrance to have to deal with it, but if that's the thing I have to do to just show that, like, yeah, I traded by the rules and I deserve my payout, then I'm going to send it to them. I don't see it's not that big of a deal. Of course, I'm recording anyways. The last thing I'd say is I just, considering everything going on with the prop firms in general across the board, Apex and others, I just recommend recording your trades, whether you do a YouTube or not. I really like doing the YouTube because I have the recordings, but I also like doing the YouTube and having the recordings because I use it as my own personal journey. I could go a journal. I could go back and look at the live recorded session and go like figure out what was going on in my mind, what was going on, and reassess, and being able to look back at it with a clear mind helps me learn from my mistakes. So I think I've covered everything I had to say, so I'm going to wrap it up here. 20-3 on the orb, 87%. I mean, it's obviously a legitimate high winning strategy. Just not going to be risking my whole account on the trade. So I'm playing by the rules. 1-0 today, 100%. For the week, I suck. 3-5, 38%, and 228 wins and 58 losses overall for the year. So getting close to 300 trades, right at 80%, which is where I've been. So nothing new there. Again, thank you for using my code if you're using it. Thanks for the likes and subscribes. And I don't know, maybe I'll put out a video just talking about Apex and the rules and my take on the whole thing. I would just say Apex, if they were listening to me, and I know they're not because nobody knows who I am and barely anybody listens to me, but I would just say, hey, time to hire a PR person. When you put out those videos, you should have a spokesperson doing the videos, not the person in charge of the rules department who clearly feels emotionally tied to what he's putting out and does it in a condescending and patronizing way. I would hire a PR person, spokesperson that can release those messages in a kinder, nicer way to your customers so you don't piss them off and you don't make them feel like they can't trust you. Because that's essentially what they did, is they made the majority of the users feel like, is Apex trustworthy? Can we trust them? And that's a problem. If Apex doesn't trust us and we don't trust them, I'm not sure how well things are going to go moving forward. So hopefully they can figure that out. But all right, I think I've said it all for now. Appreciate you watching, and I'll be live at 9:25 Eastern. Come by, check it out, and I appreciate all those that come by and comment and interact with me as well. So I've said it all. I'm out of here. Be back tomorrow. Hope you had a good trading day.